Humans are innately very emotional beings, and we feel things deeply on a deep level, whether we like it or not. But feelings are something that usually can overrun and dictate our life and make us feel like we haven't got any control over our lives and what is happening around us. We're constantly in a reaction mode. And in today's video, I would like to talk to you about what are emotions, what are feelings, how we can live with them and not suppress them, but how can we also detach and realize that we are not our feelings and that we have control over our reactions and our lives. Before I dive into this video, hi, I am Milena and I'm a mindset coach, and I help people shift their minds, shift their actions, and shift their life. You can schedule your free coaching call if you DM me on Instagram at MindShiftSchool. The link is in the description. So let's talk about this. Firstly, what are the emotions that we feel? How do we define emotions? And emotions are nothing more than just a sensation in our bodies. We experience something in our life. It doesn't have to even be in the real world. It can be a thought that triggers an emotion. It can be our belief, or it can just be we are minding our own business. We are just sitting at home and we feel a certain way. The emotion comes up. Do you have those moments where you just feel like crying and you don't know why, or you feel upset about a thing that happened 2 years ago? That means that our thoughts dictate our emotions. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the thought itself, the event itself, or the event that is happening right now to you is something that brings up the emotions you feel, but it's actually the story you tell yourself about the situation. So it's always about the narrative. How you view a certain situation and how you feel about it can be different than someone else that goes through that situation and has a different point of view and a different belief system and a belief pattern. Any emotion we feel is something that is a result of our perspective. And our perspective is our own and not always the accurate representation of the world and the situations. We all view the world from a different perspective. We have a different point of view, and everyone's is valid for their own life. But none of those perspectives may be accurate and don't represent the reality. So the first step is being aware that your feelings are not true and they are just a perception. They're just your perspective, your own idea projected through your own lens of experiences. When you realize that every emotion you experience is something that your subconscious mind is believing, is telling a story about a situation, those emotions then lose their power. When you realize that the emotion you experience doesn't necessarily mean it's true, then you can start and explore other options. What can actually be going on in this situation, and why the situation has triggered something inside of you. And that ability is so powerful because then you can detach. You can detach from your thoughts, from your emotions, and just look at the bigger picture and look at yourself as an experiment. Why do you feel a certain way? Has the situation that is happening right now brought something from the past that you haven't worked through or haven't healed? Are your beliefs not aligning with the reality of the situation and the world? And do you need to shift your way of looking at things? And those questions are super powerful and can bring you to a more realistic view and not really being in that reactive mode and acting as if the emotions are the ultimate truth about the situation and about the world, because they are not. So feelings are nothing more than emotions that are sensations in our bodies. When we feel angry, we feel tense, we feel our heartbeat speed up. When we feel sad, we have that sinking feeling in our stomach and we feel drained. All those things that are happening inside our bodies, plus our perception and our narrative, our story we tell about that feeling, and connecting it with the person, the situation, and our beliefs and our past experiences. And that's how we get to the feeling. Our feelings can deceive us so many times if we don't take control and realize where they're coming from and why. Just like our memories, our feelings are highly unreliable and they cannot be trusted. They're distorted usually, and they're disregarding other perspectives. That's how we get into a variety of unnecessary and painful situations. Example is when we feel jealous, we think to ourselves, oh, that must be valid. That means my partner is cheating on me, even though there is no proof of that. Or when we feel hurt, we automatically go to the statement that this person hurt me on purpose, he must hate me, or something like that, which doesn't necessarily needs to be the case. It can be just miscommunication. So it's really important to acknowledge that those thoughts and those emotions we feel, the feelings that come up, cannot be trusted and should always be backed by the fact-checking, and we shouldn't rely on how we feel and judge the world around us or ourselves that our feelings are the ultimate truth. We always go into things with our own perception, and that is something to be aware of and work on, just being more open-minded and just curious about your thoughts and emotions, your feelings. How are you projecting into the world and onto other people, and just being aware of those habits that we've built and those defense mechanisms that prevents us from going into more deeper parts of ourselves, beyond those emotions and feelings that are just reactive, and just go deeper into why do I feel this way, and just dig deeper. And that is how you come up with all those answers that are going to be beneficial when changing your reactions and your own emotional state. Another example of our feelings ruling over us, ruling our world and life, is when we say, I don't feel like doing something. That is the thing we all do from time to time, but it's such BS because it's so detrimental to let your feelings rule your world and prevent you from achieving your goals that you want and living the best life that you can. So the next time that thought comes up, I don't feel like doing something, do it anyway. And that is why the systems you build are so important, and just consistency on a daily basis, because you can feel like you're tired, like you don't have time, but all those things are excuses that we tell ourselves because we all have the same amount of time, and we just have to prioritize what is important to us. Some days we're going to be motivated, some days we're not, but just keeping in mind that end goal and what you promised yourself to do, to achieve, is what is going to help you push through those difficult times when you don't feel like doing something. One thing I want to say though is that you don't want to not listen to your feelings and just push them down and not even want to acknowledge them and look at them. That is not productive, because that is turning your back onto yourself. Even though you are not your feelings, they're part of you and they need to be heard and they need to be understood and worked through and experienced. So not running away from them. So firstly, acknowledging how you feel. Acknowledge that. label it, say I feel this way, then go deeper and experience that feeling fully. Let yourself be in the present of that emotion and don't push it down. Just sit through it and let it pass, because it will. They're just like clouds that are just passing by, and you're not attaching to them, but you are not closing your eyes and not looking at them, but you are just acknowledging them, and they're not lingering anymore. They're just going to pass when you acknowledge them and experience the feelings. And then you can just decide how you want to act. And that is when you take control again over your emotions, over your life. And the final thing I have to say about experiencing feelings, especially in a situation when you are talking to someone and you feel a certain way, or that person is triggering something inside of you, or you feel like you are overwhelmed with emotions, to just take a step back and take a deep breath and experience the emotion you are experiencing, but don't react out of that emotion. And just calm yourself first. Tell that person you need a minute, and then come back when you've calmed down, when you've experienced the emotion, when you let the emotion pass. You go back into the conversation and you can respond instead of reacting. And that is as well coming from the place of power. You are not reacting to the world, you are responding from your own sense of self, and you are able to not be emotional. You're coming from the grounded place, and then you can truly speak your mind, and that can lead to more sustainable and more fulfilling relationships and more happier life, because you are not letting your emotions and your feelings dictate the way you live and how you feel every day. And you have the power to respond and detach when necessary. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about this topic. I believe it's super important to have the dialogue about this. This is something that we all struggle from time to time, and I hope this video helped you a little bit. If you like the video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll upload every Tuesday and Friday, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!